Hello and welcome to Movie of the Year, the only podcast that has the science and the screaming to determine the best movie that came out in any given year, except for on this episode where we're not doing that at all. If you are confused by what's going on and this voice, my name is Cassie. You normally hear me on the Superhero Show, but it's that time of the year where we all gather around as a network. We take over the Movie of the Year feed and we figure out the best of for this past year, which is 2024. We're figuring out the best album, comedy, drama. And tonight, we're not doing any of that as well either. Tonight's a night where we celebrate the Oscars. And by celebrate, I mean try to figure them out. We are doing our infamous, beloved, cherished Oscar draft. For those who are just tuning in, this is your first Oscar draft, welcome. Let me explain it for you. We're going to go in snake style as a group here. We're going to pick our movies. Our goal, not to get winners. Our goal is to get as many noms as we can. We don't care if it won the category. We just want it to be in multiple categories as a nomination. That is basically our goal. That's what we're doing. That's me. Let me introduce everybody else. I would like to introduce them in the form of, in order of who I think will do the best and also knows movies the best. So I am, of course, going to start this off with, you know him very well, Mike Gravano.
Oh, shit. There were two people I thought might be ahead of me. Yes, I know movies now. I've seen several of them from this year. Any questions?
I have so many questions for you. As somebody who knows movies and also Oscars, what's up with them? What makes a good Oscar movie, Mike?
Ooh, that is different from what makes a good movie for sure. Oscars love movies about movies. They just want to jerk off fest for sure. Are we telling stories about us? Let's do it. Is it about World War II? There are still stories yet untold about World War II or a monarchy of some sort. Is it big, bright, and flashy? They do think editing is how quickly something is edited, which is not what best editing should be. So yeah, the Oscars are super cool.
They're super great, and we love celebrating them, and we do it every year. So those are great tips. Thank you. I'll take note of all of that when I'm doing my pick. Let me see what other information I can gain from our next movie boy, which is going to be Greg from Movie of the Year. Welcome, Greg.
Well, I really appreciate your confidence,
I
Cassie,
believe in you, Greg.
Yeah, and one of these years, I think you're bound to be correct. And I think that part of why you might be correct, Cassie, is that this is a little bit of a moving target the past few years. The Academy has expanded. I think there's been a desire to sort of appeal to the more casual movie viewer. And so my strategy going into this one is the bigger movies. A movie that's a big production with a huge cast. You're throwing out a wider net. You have a chance of getting maybe the technical categories. You have a chance of maybe getting a best original song. That might be the key to winning around, getting the one that has best original song. So that's my take on it. Is you want to go big and bold. If your picks have to do with the best movies of this year, you're gonna get left in the dust. You need the correctly mediocre movies of the year. That's how you win this.
You mentioned best original song. Now, does that song have to be good, or does it just have to be original?
No, that's the thing. That's what's so great about having an original song is they're gonna nominate 5 or 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
So just does your movie have an original
then
song?
You get that nom.
That might give the edge to one movie over another.
Dang, Greg's coming in with the real hot tips. You know what, Greg? Just because of that, I think it's gonna be your year. I'm feeling good
Thank
about
you.
this.
Awesome.
There was somebody else who has won this before. She was a sleeper and really took it out of spite alone. That's our good friend Books. Welcome to the pod.
Oh, thank you. I am so excited to be here. And I do like to consider myself a sleeper for the Oscar noms.
There was one year you came on here and you were like, I'm only here to wreck lives and I am here to win it. And it was legit the most beautiful thing I've ever seen because it was out of pure hatred that you found these picks.
That honestly is the moment I peaked. Yeah. I've never been able to reach a high such as that.
Are you think you're going to be able to channel that energy and bring that again?
I'm a little concerned. I'm a little sleep deprived. When I was told we're picking Oscar noms, I thought movies that Oscar the Grouch would like to nom on because they've been tossed in the garbage.
Oh my God.
My list is a bit different.
God, that would be so good. What comes to mind when you think of that?
I was immediately drawn to Gladiator 2. A lot of sweat, probably real stinky.
I'd nom on that. I'd do it.
Oscar the Grouch famously loves a good six-pack.
Nom nom.
You know what? Stick with that strategy.
Dirty.
I also don't think it's bad for this. I think you can do some damage with it. We have another one. We can't quite remember if this person has also won one of these drafts before, but we believe she did. Katelynn, welcome to it.
Thank you, Cassie. I'm gonna say, no matter what, if I did or did not win last year, I did win.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it with full confidence.
We're getting a head nod from the producers. That
Yeah.
you
Okay.
did.
Yeah. I won. I really thought about this whole year, and the big old trophy from last year's Oscar nom winnings.
It's been cherished.
I actually ate it. So, because I heard that's what you do with the noms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love movies. I watch all of them, including the ones that are so sad and devastating. Those are actually my favorite.
That's what we associate you with.
If it's like real life and like hurtful to watch, like if your eyes, you have to wash them afterwards, and your soul, and then you're still dirty. That's what I like.
That's a good Katelynn movie right there.
Yep.
And Katelynn, since you know movies so well that came out this year, how would you describe, like, how would you generalize the type of movies that came out this year?
Wonka.
Great. They were Wonka. That's Timothée Chalamet, dude. Timothée Chalamet. He was out here and he did movies.
Did he Wonka this year?
No.
Well,
Wonka wasn't this year.
Wonka.
I don't think
Wonka
so.
came
Was
out
it?
This year, she was describing the kind of movie, and all the movies were a bit Wonka.
Yeah.
Honestly, he was in 2 movies that were easily Wonka this year. Dune 2 is completely Wonka.
Ah, yeah,
and
that's right.
A Complete Unknown is Wonka as fuck. So she's absolutely right.
Again, no one has presented a bad strategy yet.
and that's why I won.
And then we, of course, have a guy who might be into movies, is kind of good at this, maybe. Ryan, I am so proud of you for staying quiet this long. I did not think you would do it, my friend. Congrats.
Mac called herself the sleeper and then said sleeps later on, and I had to scream out sleeper. That was the only time I talked, though. That was it.
You did very good.
I cannot believe this fucking just these stray bullets that Katelyn's shooting out. She did win last year.
Yeah.
And I could have won if I had picked any other movie in the last round, but I picked fucking Wonka, and that's why I lost. So this is some manipulation. This is some pregame bullshit.
She's getting in your head.
I came to fucking win again.
Ryan, with this energy, how will you recover if she does indeed win again? If she somehow triumphs and this is what she's bringing?
It's been a rough time for me. I have won as many times over the last 2 years as Mike has won over the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. I've won as many times over the last 2 years as Greg will ever win in the future. So it's been a rough time, but at some point a couple years ago, you guys figured out how to do this.
Yeah.
I wasn't the only one, and so I think this episode sucks now. I don't like doing this anymore.
There's one article publisher, I would say, who's probably got all of our backs that we all have referenced. That's what I believe is what
But
has
you
happened.
guys did research for this?
We watched a lot of movies.
Here's how we get in Katelyn's head: is whoever wins this year, you have to then go watch all the movies you drafted, and you have to text us your thoughts and feelings about them, so we know you actually did it.
That would be, I don't want to do that. I read about a couple sentences on a couple of these, and I was like, it's okay. I don't need to watch
Sounds
movies.
heavy.
Go watch more Bat Wheels.
Ooh, God. Guys, do we have a moment to talk about Bat Wheels? Because have you accepted Bat Wheels into your life?
Oh, please stop handing me that pamphlet. I'm not going to take the
I never
pamphlet.
will.
I saw a clip of Bat Wheels recently because I live a hellish life, and there's people in Bat Wheels too. I thought it was just talking cars. This is crazy.
Who would they save? Who?
Other
talking cars?
talking cars,
They
I assume.
can save themselves. Every talking car is a hero. Ryan,
Guys, I implore you to not keep this conversation going on.
I have all the time in the world. I'm in control. Ryan, real quick before I get this list set for our draft, we haven't really talked about the movies this year. Specifically, can you please give a rundown of how you felt about movies this year?
I thought you were going to say,
List
rank
of
the
the
movies
movies.
in order. Based on how you think are going to get nominated. Yeah, no, I mean, I mostly agree with what everyone has said about the Oscars. It's something that I had cherished as a child when I was a moron, and now I realize that they're worthless. When we do our Best Movies of the Year show, we're going to talk about so many good movies. Tonight is not that night. It was an incredible year for movies, but I don't know. I think the Oscars are getting worse. I think that they hit this peak with Parasite where like the whole world just, everybody was like, okay, we figured it out. And then after that, they were like, Coda and everybody everywhere, like these are not. And I think this year I'm very nervous about what's going to win this year.
Yeah. Well, on that positive note,
Yeah.
let's get this. This is I've used the randomizer to set our draft order. Draft order is huge in this because you get about maybe 5 movies that are going to be good, that'll get a lot of noms, and then what we would like to say is fucked.
If I can, Cassie, real quick though, I will say this is a different year because this might not be the year to get first overall pick.
No way.
There's no big like forerunners. I don't know if there's any huge favorites. I think it might be better to like draft down towards the bottom and get more.
I feel like that was a trap.
We shall see.
That was bad advice. That was a trap.
The guy's going first. I know.
That doesn't sound
He's trying to
like.
make him sound.
Is this why you lose every year?
I'm sorry.
Well,
What'd you just say?
I was being a gentleman.
You know what? Let's just talk about fucking bat wheels, okay?
God, yeah, that's all we need to get Ryan on board. Okay, there's 4 main of them. Just kidding, I won't do it. Let's get to this list. Starting it off, our first round, first going to pick is Greg. Greg, you're number 1. You get first pick.
Oh, hell yeah.
Starting it off,
Very exciting.
Ryan, I don't know how you're going to feel about it. You're second, so you're not towards the bottom, but normally you'd be happy about this. So
I'm towards the bottom of the second round, Cassie.
there you go. That's how you look on the positive side of things. I'm proud of you. Then we have Mike. You're going to be going 3rd. I will be going
Yeah, but
4th.
first on the
You're
second
going
round.
5th, and I'm so sorry, McKenna. You're going 6th. Blame the randomizer.
Yeah, is that how the snake works?
That's snake order. In case you guys don't understand when I threw out snake order randomly in there, that's snake order. It then goes the opposite way, like a snake does, So let's go ahead. Let's take a break real quick, and when we come back, we're going to be picking our noms. We are back in. Greg, you get to start it. What is your very first pick for the 2025 Oscars?
Okay, so this is definitely me putting my money where my mouth is because I just was saying with my mouth that I think that what's going to be rewarded this year, at least on the nomination front, is going to be the bigger, kind of like bolder, more like generally popular projects. And I don't think anything fits the bill and also has original music. And I don't think anything fits the bill quite like Wicked does.
He's on it.
It's going to be popular.
Popular.
I think it's going to be popular. Is it a perfect movie? Sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes. Is it struggling to be 2 hours long so that it can still just be half of a story? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But I just think in this time, it is like it's kind of pretending to be about things and it feels like it's about things, but ultimately it's not really about things. And I think that's going to help it. Everybody enjoyed it. I saw it. I had a really good time. It's super colorful. I thought the effects looked really
So
good.
many colors.
And I just feel like I'm casting a wide net here. You might get a performance. You might get a director. You might get a Best Picture nom, right? They nominate like 18 of these things now for Best Picture, just so that people can like look at the Best Picture nominees and say, I saw one of these movies. I liked it, right? And I think Wicked is going to fit the bill for that. Production, costumes, Chenoweth. I think it's got everything that you want out of a movie.
As of this recording, and let me see when we're recording this, Friday, this is in the driver's seat to win Best Picture.
Best
And-
Picture.
Best Picture.
Wow.
And this is what I mean by I am done with it. I watched this movie last night, and it was terrible. It was
Oh no.
terrible.
I didn't think it was terrible. I think it's a good time at the movies. I think that I could point to 25 better movies from this year that I saw. But that's like it fills a niche. My wife and I wanted to watch a fun movie over January 1st break, and we watched Wicked, and it was fun. It did the job, and since then we've both been defying gravity.
You're an inspiration.
Thank you.
I think this is a very strong pick. I do think it's going across the board in a lot of things. I do think it'll get you a lot of noms. I'm very proud of you, Greg. You nailed it. You crushed it.
Thank you.
Next up, Ryan, what are you picking?
Okay, I mean, this is like, I do think that McKenna is in the best seat here. But I'm gonna go with a movie that the Academy had recently released its short list for a lot of the awards, and so basically for 10 of like the lower awards, they say these are the 15 movies that are now eligible. So you're not picking from 400 or 500, you're picking from these 10. So it's like song, score, visual effects, I think, costume and makeup. And this one movie kept popping up no matter what. I think that the Netflix hate is dead. And so I do think that, and this could be another one, Cassie, like you were talking about with Killers of the Flower Moon, where it gets 0 wins, but the most nominations. Excuse me, I'm choosing Emilia Perez.
It's a good pick.
Hell yeah. I didn't know that was a Netflix joint, but I have seen it, like, it is getting talked about, like, nonstop. And like when I saw the description of it, I was very surprised, because this doesn't seem like your typical Oscar movie.
And I do think that they do love throwing in a foreign language film and saying, look how smart we are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going to give the Oscar to Wicked, of course, but look, we nominated this one that doesn't speak English.
They're so brave. Look at them doing it. I think it's still a good pick as a second round. I think it's very strong. I think you are also doing well. I'm also proud of you, Ryan.
Okay. So this is the attitude you want to take for this episode?
Do you not want me to be proud of you?
No,
you know what?
I love it.
Fuck you. Hey, bro. Fuck you. I hope you lose.
Right.
Next up, we have Mike. Mike, I hope you win.
Thank you. I took that sincerely. The Oscars love big costumes, old shit that can look good, intrigue, and fantastical lands like Wicked, but what if it was real? We're obsessed with, dying organizations that seem to think they still matter, but they don't. I think Conclave could easily get 14 or 15 noms.
14 or 15?
That's
setting records.
crazy.
Yeah.
I know how the Oscars works. That sounds right.
That is Katelynn making fun of you. And unless they have new categories like Best Pope, then no.
Yeah.
That would be
Old Pope, new
That's a lot
Pope,
of
young Pope, best Pope.
You said they were expanding, and that's how they're expanding this year. They specifically made the Pope categories.
You've definitely got a few performance,
Yeah.
potential performance awards, director,
Dress, whatever costumes are called.
best
vestments,
dress.
best vestments.
Most
Best
fashionable.
pants.
I do think though
Most
that
likely to succeed.
this is one of those movies that the Academy loves because on paper or on Papal it looks very serious, but if you watch it, it's a fucking soap opera. Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a popcorn movie dressed as a serious movie, and that way they get to eat popcorn with both hands.
I was going to say about yours, Ryan, Emilia Perez, that it's kind of, at moments, it feels like a telenovela. And this, at Conclave, at moments, feels like a telenovela. It needs, like, the full organ, like, dun, 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 on some lines.
I think it's going to get 15 or 16 picks, Mike. I think that's an
Thank
absolute
you.
slam dunk.
Our first
Amazing.
non-musical, so...
First
Yeah, that's true.
non-musical. It's not getting that. I
Pope rap.
It's not
the end.
musical.
put out your own edition right now. Maybe it'll make it in time. I am going to go with something. When I saw the description to it, it seemed kind of Oscar-ish. It seemed a little bit devastating. It dealing with after the Holocaust, and they love to do something. The Oscars love to like celebrate that. Be like, look, we care about these things. So I'm gonna go with The Brutalist. I feel like
shit.
it's got some strong actors in it, so I definitely got some of those categories. And I think I can hit a fair amount of these things. I don't know if it has a song in it though.
In its heart, yeah.
I am brutal.
Why are you so brutal? I mean, we talk about these movies, and you don't even have to watch this one. You just see the title, and you're like, oh, that's serious.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that was my strategy and how I really picked it, but hell yeah. It's even got a broody little poster and everything, so I'm feeling Oscar for it.
And if there were an award for like best business venture, this movie was made on kind of a shoestring budget, like made like for like $10 million, and it's getting a ton of Oscar buzz. So
$10 million and 3.5 hours with an intermission.
Oh
And that's where
God.
they spent all the money.
On the intermission.
you've never seen an
And-
intermission like this.
I mean, precedent. Isn't this Brody's second Holocaust-based movie, and he won actor then for The Pianist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penis.
I think that he was in the front runner for a while. There's a couple of actors who have passed him up since then. But we'll see.
Jack Nicholson's in a movie this year?
I'm Jack Nicholson. God, we have to remember we're recording this for other people to listen to.
They love this.
It's what the people want. Katelynn, we also want to hear your pick. It is now your turn.
Cool. I'm gonna tell you about a movie that is gonna be my pick, and it is described in a nutshell as electrifying, passionate, and frantic.
In your own words, that's how you would describe it?
94% of the people on Rotten Tomatoes would agree with me
Hell yeah.
that Honora is a good pick.
Oh,
Hell
that is
yeah.
a good pick.
That is a good pick.
Yeah. I'm reading this overview of it, and it actually looks like something I might enjoy. It's a young woman gets her own Cinderella story when she meets and marries the son of Old Garage.
Did you say old
Old-
crotch?
Old crotch.
That's a Cinderella story when she marries Old Garage.
Is the word oligarch?
Maybe.
Okay.
No, it's old crotch. It's old. Forever in our hearts. You guys had a very you were very proud of her for this pick. Why do you think this is a good one?
Sean Baker.
Yeah.
This is a
That's
guy
what I
who's
was
won.
thinking too.
Obviously.
He's won Movie of the Year twice out of
Damn.
3 movies. And yeah, this is just it's actually a good movie. Maybe the first one that we've drafted so far.
Fuck, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I don't
It just
think
feels
Sean
very
Baker
real.
would kill you, Caitlin. I think you could actually do this.
Wow.
There
Put it
are-
on your list.
I
What
do
other
have
movies does this boy have?
Red
Yeah,
Rocket.
Tangerine
Tangerine,
and the
Florida
Florida Project.
Project.
I do have
All
to
these
warn you.
movies I definitely know.
The Florida Project may not be for you.
That's about Disneyland.
I know that one. because
Disney
it's about
World,
Disneyland.
Ryan.
You fool.
The unethical one.
Yeah, ours is better.
Not the local hangout that we all love and grew up at.
All right, let's go to our final picker for this round. McKenna, what are you drafting?
All right, I feel like I have a lot of potential to live up to, and I'm just going to disappoint Ryan because he said I had the best spot, and I don't know, but I'm going with one that I'm hoping is going to get a lot of the like kind of forgotten about nomination categories, and that is Dune Part 2.
That's
I
to me
wanted
that
that
seems
one.
like a good pick at the,
Yeah.
at
That's
the
a good-
turn right here.
The Loudies.
Yeah.
I
The Loudies.
hate to say that my top 6 on my list have now been gone. This is not the show we used to do. You guys used to be so
Mine
bad
isn't.
at this.
Ryan used to get 4 first round picks.
Damn.
He wanted to see
Oh.
who he could double up.
Still, no one chose Wonka, so I'm doing good.
You also haven't. McKenna, I think this is a very strong one. You're obviously getting all the loudies. You're getting the visual effects. I think it even has like actor potential. Like I think this one will spread across some categories. So I think this one is strong.
My biggest concern for this one, and it's not a lot because of the Loudies, but is that if they think only one big budget IP, like Wicked, might steal its nominations.
Yeah.
And that sucks
Yeah.
because Wicked is, regardless of what you think about Wicked or Dune, Wicked is undeniably worse than Dune Part 2.
I do think that like
But it's new. This is a Part 2.
Right, exactly.
I do think that the Academy wants to say we nominated movies like Dune Part 2 a bunch of times. Like I think they make them they feel that makes them seem more relevant to like the modern moviegoer.
Right.
So I think you're going to get, 6 or 7 off this.
That's the hope.
which is, a third of what Mike will get with Conclave.
Sorry,
But,
Conclave's going to sweep it up so much.
Sorry about it.
I also think, not that Denis Villeneuve cares, but the worst thing he did for this movie's nominations is say, oh, I think I'm going to make a third one. And it's like, no, we want an award. Then that means we'll give you the awards for that third one.
The Return of the King conundrum.
The Return of the King, yeah.
That classic conundrum.
You know it.
McKenna, that was a strong pick, and you get to go again because it's snake. We're doing it like a snake. So
Snake order.
start off our second round right now. What are you drafting?
All right, my next pick. Oh goodness, I've been a little torn. I didn't think I was gonna. Honestly, I just didn't think. I'm gonna be right there. Just cut it off with that. I did not think.
Always
so
happens.
Always happen. I'm gonna go with a complete unknown.
Oh, that's another really good one.
Just because I think that the music potential, the sound, the loudies. Yeah.
Timothy. You got the Timothy back to back.
I got the Timothy.
Are you upset you are out of Timothys?
I'm devastated. I've picked all my Timothys, but I didn't
No.
let anyone else.
Knowing that Katelynn will take Wonka next pick, then yeah.
I feel like there's like an okay chance that this is the most nominated movie.
I agree.
So I think that like McKenna just did a great job on back-to-back picks right there.
I don't want to jinx this moment, but the last time I won, I was also the last round pick,
Yeah.
and you guys left everything everywhere all at once, just to me. So
Wow.
Shit.
That's crazy.
Well, that
Seems
had
dumb
come
in
out the
hindsight.
February before. We forgot it existed and didn't know we could research then.
Yeah. You have to keep that in mind.
In the intro, we talked about how they love movies about movies, but I mean also Bohemian Rhapsody won a ton of awards despite being awful. So yeah, this could definitely.
You have to find the ones that are sneakily like also about movies, and I think there are some other ones on this that are like you can like stretch it because like I think in a weird way, Wicked, it still gets some of that movie credit because it's like still like stage drama and everything. And I think Complete Unknown, it gets like because it's the music industry, it almost gets a little bit of that movie cred still. And so they're gonna have a great time. They're gonna give like costuming to this one because they're like it's a period piece, and like it's just gonna
They
be
had
like
to
put
go
everybody
through
anything
so
to
many
feed into their
Buffalo
own
exchanges.
egos of what they've produced.
And I haven't seen this movie yet. This is a prequel to the Wallflowers movie.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that one.
The Wallflowers movie, One Headlight, of course.
McKenna, I'm pulling for you because I want the Timothée Chalamet technique to be the one that really pulls through. So
is this new? Have we all just decided that we like him? I was not told about this.
no, I think it's just very funny to root for him
Yeah, my tongue was slightly in cheek.
in the nicest way possible. I'm sure he's a great person. Caitlin, because we're going opposite, it is now your pick.
Wow, this is really hard because I didn't realize how a snake worked.
The snake will get you every time.
It's only the
like
8th
it.
year. We'll get it.
If
Yeah,
you
we're gonna
people
know
see a
next
snake in nature, do not approach it.
This is only my second movie of the year, I think. Or
No
what is
way
this
in
called?
hell.
Oscar
Oscar.
draft.
This is my second. No, this is my second Oscar draft. No joke.
So
I'm gonna do another
last
movie
year
that-
was your first one, and you won.
Yeah.
fucking won it, dude.
Year before was my first one.
I've been doing this multiple times and haven't won.
Same here, Cassie. Same here.
Cassie is also the only person that in this episode Cassie has not rooted for.
Well, because I'm gonna pick Fast and Furious.
I don't want
always
to
have
throw away my rooting.
I'm gonna pick a movie, Cassie, for my pick.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be really good, and I know everything about it because it is the #1 most searched drama movie on Google,
Sounding great.
and it's called The Substance.
Oh man.
Caitlin, watch this.
Yeah, this is a Caitlyn movie. Basically, it's like they put Caitlin's personality into an AI generator, and it spit out a movie that Caitlyn will want to see every frame of.
We get to
Every
see a
second.
physical representation of Caitlin's soul.
Now I'm rooting for you to win, and we have to go with the thing that you have to watch them all. So you let us know how it goes if you win.
This movie is probably it has the most Greg looking away from the screen minutes of any other movie I saw this year. I probably logged a solid 25 minutes not looking at the screen.
What noms do you guys think this one is getting? Do you think it's mainly is it Loudies for this, or what's this hitting?
Director,
I would-
screenplay.
I would love Best Actress. I think that Demi Moore is probably closer to supporting, but for her to like get nominated for Best Actress here would be an awesome story.
But
I would love that for
effects,
Yeah.
Makeup.
Production design.
ass.
Substance. Best substance.
Is there most ass in a movie? Because it might
Yeah,
get that.
Heard that's a new category. Yeah.
in Mike's Oscars. It
Yeah,
absolutely is.
Ray Fiennes and Megan Qualley are both up for best ass.
Katelyn's team so far, which would surprise nobody, is the most unhorny, horny group of movies.
Seriously,
I've ever
yeah. That is you picked the most sex pause and the most sex nas movies out there.
seen. It is Illmatic.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my pick now, just to cut you guys off while you're on a roll. I am hoping. I think we're getting down to like maybe fewer of picks. At least that's where I am in my list. And again, just going for devastating here and making the Oscars feel good about themselves. I'm gonna pick Sing Sing. I think I've got actors for this one, basically, in screenplay. So we'll see how it goes.
And
I
possibly
think outside
song,
Best
right?
Pictures. Yeah, yes, and Best Picture shot. I think that this is a case of too early, and that sucks to say. I think it sucks that you're going to reward an entire year, but only the last month of the year, because this just came out in like March, and it's a really good movie. But I hope Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor for this guy who has never acted before, but is incredible.
We'll see how it goes. Mike, you are up next. What are you drafting?
I'm drafting one that might be the opposite of too early, too late. And I've seen the trailer for this movie and went, man, Oscar people are gonna fucking love this because it appears to be it's camera. It's all POV of the main character walking through, and they're like, I know dumb action movies have done that before, but a serious movie has never done this before, and that's why I'm going with Nickel Boys. And I think another possible 11 to 20 nominations.
See, I thought I was down to 4. Mike's still staying strong with 11 to 20, and that's why he's going to do great this round. Ryan, we're back to you. What are you going to draft?
I have to go with a movie that I've heard is straight up awful. But because its predecessor was nominated a bunch and won a bunch, and because of the Loudies, I'm going to go with Gladiator 2.
Oh yeah.
Don't you, and you're
Oscar the Grouch is a fan.
I've heard a lot of chatter for Denzel, Best Actor. Ryan, do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I think Denzel, and then most sharks in a Coliseum. Apparently that happened. Has anybody seen it yet?
No,
I have not. No.
Yeah. I've heard it.
Sharks?
But yeah, when you tour at the real Coliseum, they go, sometimes we threw sharks down there. As
Yeah.
if they did it.
They would flood the
Yeah.
whole like bottom of it, and then they would have like actual fights in boats and stuff.
That's fucking
That's
sick.
freaking.
We used
that's
to be a
rad,
country.
yeah.
I mean, it was wrong. Okay, obviously, disclaimer, that gladiator stuff, that was wrong. But also, in
But-
addition, kind of sweet.
That's pretty rad. You kind of just thought of the most wild thing, and then it became true. Insane.
I've heard that this is part of Ridley Scott's late career, replacing the words action or cut with I don't give a shit. That's just all he says on the set. But I do think that, like, maybe, this legacy thing could work for it, where it's like it's a former Best Picture winner. So, and that's kind of the case with Wicked, too. Like, don't even watch it. It's Wizard of Oz, and we love that movie. So,
And we all love that one. All right, Greg, we're back to you. What are you drafting?
Okay, so I am thinking big. I'm thinking popular. And just to harken back to what I said earlier, that, like, you have to find the movies that are secretly about movies. And one of them, I think this time, that fits all those bills is Nosferatu. I think Nosferatu, because this is like the third iteration of it, if you don't count Dracula's, that people are excited about it. It's Eggers, a name that we are still excited about, but like I feel like maybe he's got to have another winner. And I don't know if Nosferatu is it necessarily, but the buzz is there. I think there's a director because of him, Best Picture potentially. Loving Nosferatu feels like loving the cinema, even if this movie isn't like perfect or whatever. And I think it's going to get a lot of awards just for that.
I've heard that this is like Twilight.
Yeah, dude.
And I've
Vamps.
also
Yeah,
I've
Caitlin, you'd
also
love
heard
it.
about I've heard about it through SpongeBob. So I think both of those avenues mean it's going to be a great one, Greg.
I also just saw the one from like the 1920s recently.
So good.
And it's legit creepy, dude. So like I don't know how scary this one is, but I've gotten the feeling that it might actually be pretty scary.
If they still sparkle, it'll be fine.
Caitlin, they never sparkle.
Christ.
Caitlin, I just want to say I'm not the biggest fan of Twilight, and I am a huge fan of vampires. I don't mind that the Twilight vampires sparkle.
Oh,
You know
thanks,
what?
Greg.
Yeah, enjoy.
Oh,
Have fun with it. Why not?
love
Vampires
that.
are for everybody.
oh.
Even weird Mormons
Yeah.
who have sex
Dude,
hangouts.
okay, vampires are for everybody who's not normal. So if it's weird anything, vampires are for you.
Yay!
Greg coming in with the weird pick for the final closing out of round 2. That we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna do our final 2 rounds. So let's take that break. All right, so we're gonna start our 3rd round, and Greg, you get the first pick of the 3rd round. What are you drafting?
Cassie, this round is the moneymaker round. And when I personally look back on this draft, whether or not I did okay comes down to this pick. This is also the hardest pick for me, and so I'm flailing here a little bit.
That's what I am.
But I am going to go with a movie that I wanted to at least have a chance to say a couple things about. An old master who has given us so many movies, running it back, putting his own money on the line, and making something that is a spectacular disaster. Megalopolis is maybe the worst movie I've ever seen because it's the only movie that has the artistic vision, the financial backing, and like the workmanlike attitude to be as bad as this movie ends up being. There is something there. There's something in this movie. There are interesting effects. There are interesting moments. There's a transcendence to this movie, and also like a powerful laziness. Like that there were ideas there, but that nobody was there to form them, and so they were kind of dumped into this movie along with like hundreds of millions of dollars. Like one character idly can stop time. It's like not even leaned on. There's just like it's just a guy going about his life who can also stop time, and then he can't, and then he can again. It seems like a movie absolutely full of the imagery of Freemasonry. Which why? Well, in this day and age, why are we invoking the symbology of the Freemasons? It is, I am sure, going to get at least 1 or 2 nominations. It deserves none of them. It should be studied as like what you don't do. But, you know, we are kind of in a weird way robbed of having things as bad as this movie is, because the like corporate structure of Hollywood never let something get as bad as this gets without someone stepping in and saying like, we're stopping out, this is over, forget about it. There is something transcendent to how bad this movie is, and I think it's going to get at least several nominations. Aubrey Plaza, WoW Platinum, I love you. Thank you for everything you do to make our lives worth living. Megalopolis.
Did you guys think that, like, for a second there, the abject laziness, the ideas that go nowhere, like that, Greg, that's my eulogy. That's my rough draft. You can use that for later.
I was taking notes. I was like, this can really apply. I hope this one gets a lot of nominations, just because I've never heard you hate a movie so much or say it's so bad. So I do want it to get a lot. Next in our pick, our order is Ryan. Ryan, you're picking.
Okay, I think that this is probably the last movie that has a chance for more than 2. And, you know, the Oscars love movies, but they also love when people do other jobs. And this is a movie that was written and directed by an actor, Jesse Eisenberg. It is also about the Holocaust, but it's modern day. It's about 2, I think, cousins who go and visit, like, where they came from. Not just Jesse Eisenberg for probably screenplay, but also Kieran Culkin plays the cousin, and this might be the supporting actor Locke. So I'm going to take a real pain.
Hell yeah.
Strong indeed. I do think you get at least a couple out of those. I'm glad to hear that's where you're at, because that's where I am also at, so that feels good. We have next up picking is Mike. Mike, what are you drafting?
I've been paying attention, so I definitely know my little sassy two boys, Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg, are still on the table. I think this is the perfect time to pick this. I'm going to get animated. I'm going to get original song probably, and possibly adapted screenplay. It's my nephew's favorite book series, and I love him, so I'm going for The Wild Robot.
Damn, I didn't think somebody would get this before me, and god damn it, Mike.
Look, people love The Iron Giant, and somebody went, what if we did that? Period. Again. So, let's just make that. Now they'll appreciate it in real time.
I think this one, I think you're getting a couple out of this one. It's also one of the ones that I would watch on our list and probably enjoy. So I think it's a strong pick.
Thank you.
It's one of the ones that Mike would watch and not enjoy, though, because of the robots taking over us, right?
I assume the wild robot slowly gets beaten to death by human beings, the true saviors in every movie.
Hey, Mike, Philly style or what?
Philly style with batteries, baby.
What was that? Who tweeted that thing about how if me and my friends met E.T., we would beat him with hammers?
Cullen something. Yeah. That's like a very referenced tweet at this point. If my friends and I found E.T., we would have killed him with
that. That is, if that person isn't from Philly, that's true Philly energy.
All right, Mike, it's now my turn, and you took what I was going to pick. I'm not salty about it. It's going to be fine. I am now going to pick a movie that I know nothing about, but I'm throwing it out there. It's called Maria, you guys. And
all right.
It's going to do something. It's going to get some noms, I'm sure.
Tell us
maybe
about
after.
it. Tell us what you think it might be about.
I think Maria, she's a really great girl, and she's out in the world, and she's doing things, and she's trying her best, and we're just there rooting her on, and I think that's Maria.
It stars Angelina Jolie.
Okay.
And will probably get nominated for Best Actress.
Okay.
As an opera singer?
Yeah, as Maria Callas. And it's the guy who did Jackie and Spencer. So, like, this is his sort of the end of his trilogy of misunderstood, powerful women.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, great pick on my end. You did it. Katelynn, we're now down to you. What are you drafting?
Yeah, Cassie, I'm here again with something that I completely know everything about.
We know these movies.
I'm going to do one that is in a nutshell, heartfelt, bold, and striking. I'm choosing All We Imagine as Light.
It sounds inspiring.
It truly does. And it looks inspiring from the poster.
Christ,
And
on a cracker.
Best poster.
It's about daily life in Mumbai. And
Potential best picture, potential
potential
best foreign film, right?
F1
No.
Grand Prix winner.
It's not foreign, Ryan?
It is foreign, but the
Grand Prix, I
foreign
don't know.
nominees are selected by their country.
Yeah,
And
okay.
This
yeah.
country did not pick this movie because it was a little bit critical of the country that it's from.
Sorry, we're too
And
real
so-
for you.
India's getting less and less down with being criticized.
It
Right.
has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, guys. I think it's going to do good.
We know that, Caitlin. We got that part. But I think strong contender for movie of the year for this podcast, and
Wow.
best picture nominee for sure.
Wow.
I mean,
Thank
not
you.
for sure, but like it's in the mix.
Katelynn nailed it, crushed it.
Thank you.
Let's see if McKenna can also nail it and crush it. What are you drafting, McKenna?
All right, I have just seen a lot of my picks just disappear at this point, which is what happens with Snake Order being last. You're also first, but you're also last. And so I am gonna go with one that honestly I'm hoping just gets one, but I'm hopeful for like 2 noms, and I'm hopeful for 2 mainly because it's a period piece, and that's Blitz, which is by Apple TV, and I honestly don't know. I have not heard anything about it.
Steve McQueen directed.
Oh.
The
Right.
director, not the actor. Greg, you watched this, right?
I did watch it, yeah.
Why was this so erased from the Oscar talk? Like, did it come out too early, or was it like middling?
You know, I think, first of all, I think things get like a little lost on Apple TV sometimes, and I think that it's like kind of almost like a series. It is one plot, but it's almost like a series of vignettes, like the scenes that take place. It's almost like picaresque
Almost
in
like
that you
Small
go
Axe?
from like Excuse me?
Almost like small acts.
Yeah, but imagine if they were all like connected, but the scenes are so distinct from one another because she's like moving through the city, the kid's moving through the city, and I just think some of the segments of it don't quite work. But there's a lot about it that's beautiful, and this is a very interesting idea. You know, a city completely under siege, and like the whole central the conflict in it seems to be that like this is before they're letting people down into the tubes, so the city's being bombed and they're saying to people you can't come into the subways just yet, and so they're like outside stuck with the bombing. But Cerise Ronan is good in it.
That's the thing. It's like World War II, Steve McQueen, Saoirse Ronan. That's Oscar magic.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why I was reading the description. I was like, this should be a top contender, but I feel like
I think it never quite coheres to be better than the sum of its parts. Really.
And I mean, remember a couple years ago where the director of Conclave just came out with All Quiet on the Western Front, and that got 14 nominations out of conclaved out of nowhere. So you never know. Blitz could do it.
Well, I'm feeling better about my pick already. So
They hyped you up,
Wow.
and now I hope you're ready to pick again because it is snake style, and we're starting round 4. So you are getting first pick of round 4.
first pick, I'm going with the safety one that is guaranteed to get at least one nomination, and that is Inside Out 2.
Yeah,
Oh
there you go.
wow! I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that.
Mhm.
It was fine to watch.
It was fine.
It was fine. It wasn't terrible. It's what I expected.
It
So,
exists.
it's out there, and it will probably get a nom.
It was
So,
a nom.
That's a successful 4th round pick if I've ever seen. Katelynn, let's go over to you. What are you drafting for your final round?
Did not know it was coming to me because
Every time I need to give you
every time I need like a 10-second warning.
Kaylin, try to find one that's delightful. A tour de force.
You know what, Greg? I will. I'm gonna actually
Caitlin,
choose
read a
one
description that could apply to every other one of the movies.
in a nutshell.
Kaylin, I want one that you pay for the entire seat, even though you're just going to be using the edge.
Bigfoot.
No, I'm actually gonna choose one that I've seen.
Okay.
Which is
Cool.
crazy.
Wonka.
Hey guys, it's Wonka. No, I'm gonna do one, and it's in a nutshell, very fun. It's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got some loudies.
yeah.
Maybe. It's got
what?
some.
Okay, what the fuck does loudies mean? Like, does it mean that it's loud? Like,
Special effects, music,
Oh.
sound design.
Like anything that Transformers could get nominated for.
Yeah.
Linkin
Like-
Park.
action movies that like get you fired up. Anything that plays in like the 4D theater where they shake the hell out of your chair and spray you in the face with water. Those are Loudies movies.
Love that.
I
Will,
love
yes,
those.
yes.
You're not going to Conclave and then every once in a while like some vape smoke hits you in the face or some incense comes bubbling up.
Every time
Well,
they
now I
spin
don't
that
wanna watch
magic
it.
mace.
You just get hit with a mace in the face. I love that.
A little boy's penis gets put in your hand.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. No, thank you. No more 4D for me, please.
That's literally what everybody says coming out of the 4D theater. No, thank you.
Everybody's first is their last.
Right, it's now my turn for the final round. This is where I normally get fun with it, and I say F it to the Oscars. And the only one this year that I think that can do that for me is going to be Challengers.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't think it'll get a single nom, but do you guys remember this? They should put out new category Best Cucking Scene, and it would get it. It would nail it.
I still haven't seen this one, and I've only seen 10 minutes, and I'm really sad because I want to see it all.
Well, was it the right 10 minutes?
Was it
Yeah.
the cucking scene?
You know it, Ryan.
I have a feeling that Oscar's going to ignore. This is one of those that Oscar's going to ignore, but in the Movie of the Year, Best Movie of the Year 2024.
Yeah.
Challengers, watch out.
It was a very fun movie to see in theaters. It's a good one. So you know what? Let's just remember that there are good movies here and enjoy. Let's move on to Mike. It is now your final pick. What are you drafting?
I'm torn between one pick that might get one or one that will definitely get one, but it feels like rule breaky.
Ooh.
Oh.
I like that. Do that one. Beat the bad
All right,
boy.
then I'm definitely getting documentary with soundtrack to a coup d'etat.
There we go.
Yep.
You know what, Mike? That was a smart technique, and I respect you for it. I respect you going down to that. Yeah. I'm proud of you. What
I
is
thought you were going to say it's definitely rule breaking. I'm taking Wicked Part 1.
I'm gonna go ahead and choose.
And then
Dune.
I just stare at you until you give it
Yeah.
to me.
What are you gonna do?
it's mine now.
I'm a strong man. This is what I'm doing.
Ryan, your 4th round pick. How desperate are you?
Good question, Cassie. I'm going to. I think this could get 2, and this is a weird one. I think we did this a couple years ago. There was a movie with tanks that was, I think, got nominated.
Wheels. Wheels.
That's where I went too.
Bat Wheels would be better than Deadpool and Wolverine, but I'm going to go with a movie that could get Best Animated and Best Foreign, and that is a silent movie called Flow, about a cat and a bunch of other animals that get lost in a flood and have to figure out what's up next. And I've heard
That's
this
so
movie
sad.
is absolutely incredible.
Wow. I will never watch it, but I hope it is.
Wait, you won't watch it because animal sadness?
Animal sadness.
Yeah.
I can't do it. It
It's your
really
least favorite genre.
it really hurts my soul. And closing us out, Greg, your final draft and our final draft of the Oscar draft.
Okay.
Draft.
Again, another master. End of his life, making a movie that I think is absolutely a big turd. But I think that there's a chance for name recognition. He might get a couple, maybe one nomination. Juror number 2, 110-year-old director Clint Eastwood takes his tin ear to the courtroom drama and begins with the premise: what if you were on a jury and you slowly realized you committed the crime that the person is on trial for? And if you think, how could this movie ever escape the absurdity of that plot? It never does. It just you just sit there with it the entire time, and you just have to eat it. I have so many issues with this movie, but what can I say? I hope it gets at least one nomination.
I sort of feel like this is in the conclave camp and the challengers camp in a way. We're so desperate for adult entertainment
Yeah.
that we'll. I mean, like challengers is great, but like, anything that's like for adults that doesn't involve IP, we love it.
It felt like
Yeah.
mid-90s. Like these used to come out all of the
Yes.
time. Plus more Nick Holt.
More
dude.
Nick Holt.
That guy owned this year.
All right, that is it. That is the end of our rounds. We have all drafted our teams, all summed them up, and we need to pick who we think is going to do the best. Greg has Wicked Part 1, Nosferatu, Megalopolis, and Juror number 2. Ryan has Emilia Perez, Gladiator 2, A Real Pain, and Flow. Mike has Conclave, Nickel Boys, The Wild Robot, and soundtrack to
Sorry about that.
A coup d'etat.
Coup d'etat.
I just threw T's in there. hoping that I spelled it right.
It's French.
I'm glad it's on you and not my inability to read. I have The Brutalist, Sing Sing, Maria, and Challengers. Katelynn, you got Nora, The Substance, All We Imagine Is Light, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Our final ones are killing it. McKenna, you have Dune Part 2, A Complete Unknown, Blitz, and Inside Out 2. Who do you guys think is a
Books.
really...
I think books.
Books. Yeah.
You guys are giving me a major boost to my
Big
ego.
Mike.
It's so undeserved, but thank
Chalamet.
you.
Books. The whole thing for books hinges on Blitz, but I think that she's going to get rewarded for that. So I have a tendency to think that hers is very strong.
This is sort of hopeful because of she has a movie that I love, but I think that I'm making Cassie the
Wow.
Dog-
yeah, like if people listen and they're like Challengers actually ruled, plus she's got 3 classically Oscar movies, I kind of think Cassie here.
Yeah.
The Brutalist, I could see coming away with so many, and then The Substance. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's
Caitlin.
for Sing Sing.
That's not me. That's not me.
Yeah, whatever. That's good too.
But-
and honestly, but I have to do Caitlin. I think you did a pretty good job too. Your choices are delightful, mesmerizing, hypnotic.
That's why I watched them. That's why I watched them.
They're certified
She
trash.
knows movies.
Rotten Tomatoes told me they were good.
Well, we've all figured out the Oscars game. We are here for it. We will later see how we do. That is the end of this episode. As I mentioned, we are doing our booty season, best of season. This one has been kicking it off. We'll also be making our 2024 mixtape. We'll be figuring out the best comedy of the year, the best drama of the year, best horror movie. We got some good ones, so be sure to be following all the, listening to all the shows on the feed, as you always do, our faithful listeners. That's it. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.